Hey everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Frank Carlberg, pianist, composer, and faculty member at the New England Conservatory. Frank is here to show us how to explore and workshop intervals into your compositions.
Thanks, Dan. I'm happy to be here. I got interested in kind of exploring the idea of using different intervals, either in vertical or horizontal structures, as in harmony or melody. And I realized that in traditional harmony, we're kind of in the habit of stacking thirds, and then in some kind of a different kind of a harmonic language, sometimes we explore fourths as well, stacking them. But I wanted to look at many of the other intervals and what happens when we do that. So let's look at the first slide. And this slide has kind of like these certain intervals that I've chosen here: major seventh, minor seventh, major sixth, and minor sixth. And kind of in a sequence of notes. Now, some of these are focused on one interval only. In other words, the very first four notes, for instance, in that structure, we're only having major sevenths. Now, and you could continue that further to other major sevenths. So like when we get up to the A, we could go to the G sharp above that and so on. However, if we don't combine an interval with another interval, we kind of get into these kind of closed systems. So the other interesting part of this is, and you see that with the major sevenths, for instance, that the second example features a lot of major sevenths, but we have between the major sevenths, we have a connector, a connecting interval that is not a major seventh. And in this case, the second example features a major third as a kind of a connecting interval. The third one has a minor third, which means that when we come to the B of the first major seventh, we kind of then move up a minor third, and we have the next major seventh, again move up a minor third, and then we have another major seventh. And these all create kind of interesting sonorities and possibilities, and they're very different from each other. You can either kind of explore these as maybe a section or a piece or a sound that is really dominated by major sevenths, but not exclusively using major sevenths. The same thing happens when you look at the minor seventh sequence there. The first one is only minor sevenths. The second one has a connecting interval between the minor sevenths of a major third and so on. And what I found with this is that I get sonorities that otherwise I might have easily kind of overlooked. These could be either textural sonorities. They could also be harmonic sonorities where all those notes, for instance, I decide to have maybe 4 notes all played at once, or 5 or 6 notes all played at once, or some kind of a melodic statement. I kind of did not, I've been using elements of this in my own writing, but I kind of wanted to just talk today in this mini lesson about the idea of exploring these things rather than saying like this is the end result. So I see this as a kind of a concept and a kind of a mind to explore rather than kind of a method. This is not about getting one specific result. The specific results are then kind of guided by your aesthetic decisions and your kind of creative preferences and so on. those were some examples of a texture that we can or some sonorities that we can find with this. Hopefully, a drony arpeggiation of those didn't put you all to sleep, but if it did, maybe we all need some rest sometime anyway. So we can kind of go to the next example of what can happen with this, which is to kind of combine them in different ways, where maybe we're not even necessarily focusing just on one interval, but we're kind of actually making them kind of breathe like a lung, so that you have a combination of these things. So let's go to the next example. So that was kind of featuring fifths that kind of move really kind of between some fairly conventional harmonic outlines, but still with the, so you have a kind of a sound of a major, you have a sound of a kind of a minor sound and so on. But at the same time, the intervallic structure is really kind of centered around the perfect fifth. So finally, we're going to look at a little sketch that introduces the idea of combining different intervals in a way that resembles more kind of like a kind of a harmonic progression, and it has this kind of a feeling of kind of expanding and contracting. So this one is uses a bunch of the different intervals that I've kind of combined in a way that it feels like it has kind of its own forward motion. It's over a pedal point of C, and just as a kind of like a start of something maybe. I'm not here to tell you what to do with these things. You can kind of work on them in different ways. That's, of course, will be your job as a composer. But the only thing is just as a suggestion to kind of explore these things, and hopefully you will find some new sounds that kind of come out of working with intervals in this way.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.